13 crew members, 1 doctor, no windows, no escape.
Begin invasion in 3, 2, 1.
Greetings, invaders. My name is Scott. This is Book Invasion. Thank you for joining me. Today I got a great debut for you called We Have Always Been Here by Lena Nguyen. This was one of my anticipated releases of the year. I saw the premise. I love the cover of this. It's a psychological sci-fi thriller where they're discovering a new uncharted planet. Things in reality start to blur. People are acting strange. There's AI that are acting kind of a little bit out of the ordinary, and double-crossing, who to trust, all that kind of great stuff in space. So obviously, I really wanted to check this one out, and I'm glad that I did. So let's get to know our author a little bit. So Lena has studied writing all over the world, including at Stanford, Brown, Harvard, UCLA. She holds an MFA in fiction from Cornell, where she also taught as a lecturer of English, leading classes on creative writing, composition, comparative literature, and cultural studies. She has worked as a researcher of science fiction, a literary novel judge, a creative consultant, a copy editor, developmental editor, game developer, and a writer, and an assistant editor of the literary publication Epoch. So needless to say, Lena Nguyen knows what she's doing, and this book exemplifies that. So let me give you the blurb real quick. Misanthropic psychologist Dr. Grace Park is placed on the Deucalion, a survey ship headed to an icy planet in an unexplored galaxy. Her purpose is to observe the 13 human crew members aboard the ship, all specialists in their own fields, as they assess the colonization potential of the planet Eos. But frictions develop as Park befriends the androids of the ship, preferring their company over the baffling complexity of humans, while the rest of the crew treats them with suspicion and even outright hostility. Shortly after landing, the crew finds themselves trapped on the ship by a radiation storm with no means of communication or escape until it passes, and that's when things begin to fall apart. Park's patients are falling prey to waking nightmares of helpless, tongueless insanity. The androids are behaving strangely, there are no windows aboard the ship, paranoia is closing in, and soon Park is forced to confront the fact that nothing, neither her crew, nor their mission, nor the mysterious Eos itself, is as it seems. So this story obviously takes place in the very far future, where the Earth has been consumed by what they call the comeback, a hyper-acceleration of plant growth, which has kind of reclaimed all of the buildings and things that have made the Earth inhabitable. It has kind of been flopped on its head somehow, and overnight, houses and things have been destroyed by plants and reclaimed by nature. So now people live in these biodomes, and while these biodomes get crowded, there's not very much room to expand. People have taken out to other planets to discover and research the potential colonization of other planets out in their solar system. So the story is also kind of told in 3 different ways. There's the current timeline, a flashback to a previous timeline of kind of Park's upbringing when she was a child growing up with androids, and how she had kind of established that bond with artificial intelligence and the person who had kind of cared for her when she was little. And then part of the story is also told in a kind of a found footage video transcripts interspersed throughout the chapters. And now the writing style of this book, the author really kind of made it a stream of conscious kind of story where you're all in Park's head most of the time, and you get those thoughts, those stream of consciousness, and a lot of times Park is even asking questions to just, how did this person get like this, or what happened, and she's always kind of questioning those things. You see that on the page, transcribed, like getting in Park's head, and I think that really got into a lot of the immersion of the story, where you're not only just seeing what Park does and how she feels about it, but also the questions she's asking and the rational thought process that kind of goes along with that. So the reading of this was really in Park's head a lot of the time, and it really led to a good immersive read that you're feeling these things through Park's viewpoints a lot of the time. And now among the crew of the ship, Park was the only one that was like an Earth-born crew member. And so she's really treated with a bit of disdain amongst the crew, like, oh, she's Earth-born, she's kind of picked on. She's a psychologist, and there's another lead psychologist on the crew, Dr. Keller, and so she's kind of the assistant or apprentice to Dr. Keller, and so people don't really like Park that much. They think she's a spy for the interstellar frontier, there to spy on them and be the tattletale for anything that happens that's not buy the book, so they really don't like her that much. And all the while, there's a layer of the crew that are conscripted and non-conscripted, like those who had enrolled in the ISF, the Interstellar Frontier, and those who were just there, I guess, hired to be. And so the people who had enrolled and are conscripted have kind of this other deeper layer of knowledge of these classified things. So there's a lot of those kind of things like, I know about this, I know some things about the mission that you don't know. And so Park's struggling with like, why are we really here? And somebody knows that and they're not telling her, like, what's really the mission that's going on? So there's a lot of intrigue there. There's a lot of things hidden behind the surface. But then things start to go really haywire and people are waking from nightmares. And once you start to discover the secrets of the planet Eos that they've landed on, it really gets into this cool, like, reality bending, almost Vandermeer-esque kind of thing. So throughout the whole book, you get that feeling of unease, that feeling of tension. You don't know who to trust. People are keeping secrets from one another. And then there's the AI who you don't really know what's going on with them half the time. Like, are they to be trusted? Are they getting information from somewhere that you're not privy to? So it really all comes together really nicely. I enjoyed the way that these timelines melded. I enjoyed the history of Park and understanding where she came from. I really enjoyed the world that this kind of took place in, that the description of the planet, kind of the icy plains and the waves that they're climbing over was really cool. I liked the bit of bending. I liked the androids that were there. I liked the different characters that were at play and kind of who they allied with and what their different personality types were. It was a really great read. So if you like things like Event Horizon meets Murder Bots, meets a little bit of Alien and like a Vandermeer-esque or a very reality-bending type read, then definitely check out We Have Always Been Here. It was a really fun read and really engaging, and there were a lot of twists and turns. You didn't really know where things were coming from. So as a debut book, I would highly recommend that you check out We Have Always Been Here by Lena Nguyen. Thank you for watching, everybody. I will see you next time. Bye-bye.